Representatives from the United Front of Ecuador are taking part in a national dialogue called by President Rafael Correa. Now, the group is comprised of 14 political organizations. The dialogue is centered on equality and social justice. The front is also discussing a number of other topics, including plans by opposition groups to launch a strike and a so-called uprising, as they've called it, by some indigenous groups aligned with conservative political forces. Now, among the opposition groups is the Confederation of Indigenous Nationalities, or CONAIE, but many indigenous groups reject the call for hostility. Our correspondent Liz Sherpy is now with more on these developments from Ecuador.
Y la maternidad del sur incluso va a ser más grande, que el público es lo mejor. Y si es para los pobres, mejor aún, compañero.
The uprising called by CONAIE has been rejected by many indigenous organizations, who've instead opted to participate in a dialogue called by the national government to reach a consensus on wealth redistribution and concerns regarding the state of the nation. CONAIE is preparing for an uprising for August 10th and said that they will join the national strike on August 13th, organized by trade unionists and opposition leaders.
We do not need to sit down again to analyze our demands. We have had enough time to do this and to debate, but we are insisting on marching. At this point, our organization in the CONAIE Assembly has said no to the dialogue.
Franklin Hulumba of the National Confederation of Campesino, Indigenous, and Black Organizations believes that the uprising of CONAIE is not representative of the stance most indigenous organizations have taken, who are willing to enter the national dialogue and meet with government officials to make their concerns heard and work together in a constructive way.
We agree with participating in the dialogue. We have already had a meeting with Minister Patiño, along with 2 other national organizations. We made our points of view known and told them we want changes.
Analysts have signaled that CONAIE is forming alliances with right-wing sectors who seek regime change, as their political position has become a reactionary one, which opposes the projects of the national government. CONAIE has made it known that any leader who denies participating in the uprising will be sanctioned.
CONAIE is forming alliances with the right. They're having meetings, and this is going against their own ideology. Before, they will always say that they could not have any type of relationship with the right, because they represent the historical repression and exploitation of the indigenous population. So it is very difficult to understand how these alliances are being formed. And I think that they are meeting with whoever is opposed to the citizens' revolution and the government.
While CONAIE will be marching with other members of the opposition, plans for an Indigenous Assembly are underway, which will be organized by those Indigenous actors who are willing to debate the national project and redistribution of wealth and resources in the country. Liz Sherpy, Telesur, Ecuador.